That text you used to wait hours for now sits on read. Those long nights when the conversation could go on forever have been replaced by an awkward, heavy silence. You feel alone even when you're together, like two strangers sharing the same space. If this feels like your story, you are not alone. Every long-term relationship goes through this phase. It's the moment we feel like everything is ending. It hollows you out from the inside and makes you doubt yourself. But what if this isn't the end, but the sign of a new beginning? What if this isn't a problem, but an opportunity? In this video, we're not just going to list off complaints. We're going to understand, on a deep level, why that initial spark fades to ash, and how you can reignite the fire smoldering beneath it. We'll look at this through the lens of psychology and a timeless philosophy, Stoicism, which teaches you not to change your circumstances, but to change yourself. Now let's understand the problem, the silence that kills. The first and biggest problem is silence. Not the comfortable kind that brings peace, but the kind that stings, that eats away at the relationship from the inside. When a conversation on the phone dies after, "So, what else?" That crushing silence isn't just a lack of words. It's the first and loudest alarm that your emotional connection is breaking. In psychology, this silence often stems from an emotional blockage. When you have so many complaints, hurts, and unspoken thoughts piled up inside, your mind shuts down communication as a defense mechanism. It's an attempt to avoid a bigger fight. You're afraid that if you speak up, the argument will escalate beyond repair, so you choose silence as the safer option. Sometimes, people even use this silence as a weapon, to punish their partner, to make them feel that something is deeply wrong. But whatever the reason, the result is the same: distance. This silence builds an invisible wall between you, a wall that gets harder to break down with each passing day. You start to feel ignored, like you don't matter anymore. And that feeling is poison for any relationship. So the question is, after such a beautiful beginning, why do relationships even reach this point? The cause, why the spark fades to ash. This change doesn't happen for one single reason. It's the result of hundreds of small moments that we ignore along the way. Let's break down the three biggest causes. First cause, the novelty trap and boredom. The human brain loves new things and excitement. When a relationship starts, everything is new. The thrill of getting to know each other, new conversations, new experiences. Every day feels like an adventure. But over time, that novelty wears off. You already know how your partner will react to something. The very stability that once felt like security slowly turns into boredom. We forget that the life we have was once something we dreamed of. We start taking the good things for granted and fixate on the small negatives. A partner's minor annoying habit or an old argument starts to feel heavier than 1,000 good memories. When there's nothing new or exciting left in the relationship, these small issues seem huge, and the connection starts to fade. Second cause, the emotional wall. This wall isn't built overnight. It's built brick by brick with countless small complaints, unresolved fights, and unspoken feelings that we dismiss by saying, "Just let it go," or "It's not worth it." Every time you feel unheard, every time your effort is ignored, every time you get silence instead of an apology, you unknowingly add another brick to this wall. This accumulated pain slowly builds an emotional barrier. You might be physically present with them, but mentally and emotionally, you are miles away. You stop sharing what's in your heart because you're convinced they either won't understand or it will just start the same fight all over again. There's no room left for love and intimacy. Partners become roommates. Third and most important cause, when you lose yourself. Often in a relationship, people lose their own identity. They leave behind their hobbies, their friends, their personal growth. Their entire world starts to revolve around their partner. But when you stop taking care of yourself, you not only lower your value in your own eyes, but you also become less attractive in your partner's eyes. Think about it. Your partner fell in love with the person you were before the relationship, a strong, independent individual with their own world, their own dreams, their own spark. When you lose that identity and become completely dependent on them, you inadvertently erase the very person they fell for. Love isn't about erasing yourself. It's about growing together to become even better versions of yourselves. Now that we've explored these causes, you can probably see your own story in at least one of them. Let me know in the comments which of these three reasons feels like it's holding up a mirror to your relationship. And before we move on to the solutions, if this is resonating with you, please take a moment to like this video. Now it's time to dive into solution. So, what now? Do you just accept this as your fate? Absolutely not. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what is within our control. What your partner thinks or feels is outside of your control. But who you are, what you do, and how you react to circumstances, that is entirely within your control. This is where your power lies. So, with that mindset, let's get into the practical solutions. First solution. Break the predictability, escape the routine. If your relationship is stuck in a rut, it's your responsibility to bring back some novelty. Don't wait for your partner to do something. You take the first step. Plan small surprises. They don't have to be expensive. Cook their favorite meal. Bring home a single flower on your way back from work. These small gestures scream, "You are still special to me." Learn something new together. Join a new class, dancing, cooking, or even a new language. Visit a place you've never been before. Sharing new experiences brings back the lost sense of adventure in a relationship. Bring back date night. Set aside one evening a week just for the two of you. During that time, no phones, no complaints, just the two of you. Go back to the cafe where you first met, or simply light some candles at home and create a romantic atmosphere. Second solution. Communicate with strength, not blame. Fixing broken communication is absolutely essential. But this doesn't mean you have to fight. Choose the right time. Bring up difficult topics only when you are both calm and have enough time to talk. A conversation started in anger or exhaustion will always end in disaster. Start with, "I, not you," instead of saying, "You always do this." Try saying, "I feel really lonely when this happens." When you take ownership of your feelings, the other person is more likely to understand rather than get defensive. Listen to understand, not just to reply. Listen to your partner's side without interrupting. Genuinely try to understand their perspective. Sometimes, people just want to be heard without being judged. Third and most powerful solution. Invest in yourself. This is the real game changer. If you want your partner to be interested in you, you first have to be interested in yourself. Reclaim your identity. Pick up those hobbies you dropped for the relationship. Meet up with your friends, focus on your health and fitness, learn a new skill. When you work on improving yourself, your entire energy shifts. You feel more confident and happy, and that energy itself is magnetic. Stop chasing. Pull your energy back. If your partner is creating distance, constantly texting or calling them will only push them further away. Give them space, and use that time to focus on yourself. When you stop appearing needy and start looking happy and engaged in your own world, that very shift is what often draws them back to you. This isn't a game, it's self-respect. Remember, you can't force your partner to be interested in you. But you can make yourself so interesting, so happy, and so confident that they can't help but be drawn toward you. Finally, a fading spark in a relationship isn't an ending, it's a signal. It's a wake-up call that both the relationship and you need attention. This spark turns to ash because of boredom, unspoken resentments, and losing yourself. But the good news is that there are still embers burning beneath that ash. You can turn those embers back into a fire by introducing novelty, communicating better, and most importantly, by working on yourself. Yes, saving a relationship takes two people, but change always has to start with one. And that change starts with you, not for your partner, but for yourself. Because the day you become truly interested in yourself is the day the world becomes interested in you. You can't control your partner's interest, but you are entirely in control of how interesting you are.